Building yourself a keyboard? Let's build one together. My name is Charles and I'm with the guild. Today, we will be working on a KL90 Shadow keyboard from Barrett Creative using Holy Boba Switches as well as Durock stabilizers. Firstly, the tools that you will need will be a keycap puller, a key switch puller, a screwdriver, and a tweezer. Unbox your keyboard kit and organize them so you know which parts you need while building. Over here, we have the PCB, the case, the plate, and the plate foam. Depending on your kit, you may have more foam and other parts as well. Double check your kit's instruction manual to identify all the different parts. Next, before anything else, check that your PCB is completely functional before building on it. Sometimes, people skip this step out of laziness, including myself, but many vendors will not accept faulty PCBs for returns once they have been worked on. You can do this by hooking up your PCB to a computer. Open up the software your PCB is flashed with like VIA, or use Switch Hitter, or open source software. Next, test each individual key to make sure that it's working properly. Use your pair of tweezers, and for every switch placement on the PCB, you connect one end of the tweezer to one pad and the other end to another. On your software, you'll see the key light up and then turn into another color, indicating that it works. We will then install the switches and stabilizers next. Depending on the kit you bought, this will either involve some soldering, or if you have a hot swap keyboard, inserting each switch into the PCB. Our kit is a hot swap PCB, so no soldering is involved in this video. First, make sure that you have all the foam that needs to be installed with the PCB. Today, we only have the plate foam, which goes between the PCB and the plate. Then, line up your foam, PCB, and plate like a sandwich. I've lubed the switches and stabilizers off camera. Some switches don't require lubing because the factory lubing process is good enough. Check some reviews of the switch that you want to use before deciding if you want to lubricate it. I like lubing my switches even if they are smooth already, just for the sound benefit. Leave us a comment if you would like us to publish a lubing guide in the future. But for now, I recommend watching Teha Type's video for an in-depth guide into lubing your switches. Next, install your stabilizers. We will be using screw-in stabilizers on this kit, specifically Durock V2 steps. Line up the steps with the holes in the PCB, then screw them in from the underside. Line them up with all the different holes in your PCB. Your PCB might either use a north or south facing layout, so make sure to check. Push the switch in until it's perfectly seated. If it feels loose or wobbly, you should reseat the switch. Install some switches around all four corners to start with and some in the center. This will help hold it all together while you install the rest of the switches. Sometimes the contact points on the switch can get mangled while pushing it in. Normally, you would notice this. We have funny behavior when pressing the key. More often than not, it's because of the mangled contact points. To solve this, just take your tweezers and gently straighten the contact points out. After that, now it's a good time to check for faulty switches before installing it into the case. It is far easier to work on the PCB now than after it's in the case. Use VIA or Switch Hitter again to check each key. If a key is faulty, use your switch remover to take out the switch. Check the contact points and reset the switch. If the switch contact points is broken, you have to replace it with another switch. Once everything is good, assemble the PCB sandwich into the case. Finally, finish it all up with installing the keycaps. Now, you have a brand new shiny keyboard to use. Thank you for watching our build video. If you have any other questions, let us know in the comments below, and if you found this helpful, subscribe to our channel so we can make more videos for you. Thanks for watching and happy keyboarding.